Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to the Popternative podcast. This is the podcast where we have digital discussions in the worlds of pop culture, social media, sports, hockey. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis. On Twitter, I go as PD Beats. We have a returning guest on Popternative. He's a forward in the National Hockey League with the New York Rangers. Ryan Spooner is back on Popternative. Ryan, welcome back to Popternative.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem. Pretty eventful couple of years. I mean, getting traded to the New York Rangers, signing a 2-year deal this summer, just getting ready for that. Talk a little bit about, that transition when you got traded to the Rangers, and because, almost a point per game player when you, with the change of scenery, but talk a little bit about the second half of your year.
Yeah, I mean, when I got traded, it kind of came as a shock to me. Wasn't really expecting that, but when I look back on it now, it's something that I think was for the best. Just coming here, been blessed with a chance to play more and just try to help out the team here, and that's what I've been trying to do. So at the time, though, I was a little bit disappointed that I got traded. You kind of get close with the team, and I was there for 4 years, and it's tough to move on, but at the same time, too, look at the positives, and it's a new start and get to make some new friends and all that kind of stuff. So that's not a bad thing either.
It gives you motivation as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. So, a lot of training in the off season. You're on the ice quite a bit. What were some of the takeaways from specifically your game this summer? What were some of the takeaways in terms of things that you wanted to work on for this upcoming season?
I mean, one thing that's always been something that I've been trying to work on is just strength and just being a smaller guy. Just try to put on some weight, and I put on like 8 to 10 pounds or something like that. And I think the goal for me is just to try to keep that on. And the other thing too is I switched over to more of the circuit training stuff and try to build up the cardio. And I find that helps too. So excited for the season here, and we start on Thursday, so 2 more days, and it's back at it, so it's gonna be fun.
A lot of things people talk about when they talk about your game is your skating, your ability, your style. Is that something that you're always going to try to work on as much as you can in the summer, even though it's still one of your biggest strengths, but it's something that you always maybe want to just like make sure it's always like polished? Like, what do you think about that? Like, because I know there's a lot of skating that goes on in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, since I've been young, I'd say the one thing that sets me apart from a lot of the people is I'm a good skater, and something like that since I've been a kid, and I think you can thank my dad for that. I think it's a little bit of a genetic thing, but same time too, there's a lot of guys in the league that skate better than I do. So that being said, I still have to work on it, and I find for me that when I work on my strength and my flexibility and that kind of stuff, that tends to help me out. So I've been trying to do that.
You've had an opportunity to have 2 amazing home cities, home rinks. I mean, your time in Boston, I'm sure was really special, and New York as well. What were some of kind of your favorite moments playing in Boston, and what's the experience like playing in New York?
Favorite times in Boston? That's a great question. I mean, I remember the first game that I played at the Garden. I was 18 years old, and I played in a rookie game there, and I ended up scoring the OT winner. I believe it was against the Islanders in a rookie game, and kind of cool for me. And then just the fans there, they were really into the hockey, and that was great to see. And then when I got traded here to the Rangers, I remember I used to play against them, and I said to some of the guys on my team, I'm like, this might be like one of the best rinks in the league. It's loud, fans are great, and I'm happy to be here now. So
it's just such a legendary rink as well. Like, the track record of Madison Square Garden is amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
That is your home. You get to kind of call it your home for a little bit. So we're talking about hockey. We're going to talk about something else. A lot of people that follow you on social media know that you're a big music fan. You're a big EDM guy. You were also a DJ. Mention it a little bit last time you were on with Shane Told, because you're always interested in music. I mean, you've changed your style in terms of what you listen to a little bit. Hopefully you still like the pop punk a little bit. But, yeah, talk a little bit about the DJ stuff. I mean, you've been doing that a lot this summer, and what made you want to get into that?
It was from one of my buddies, actually. He's from Toronto. His name's Brandon Walker, and we went to Spain, and I remember he just said to me, he's like, man, like, you love to listen to music and all this other kind of stuff. He's like, I think you should try it. So I looked into it, and I mean, it seemed like a decent amount of work at the time, but one of my old friends, he had a DJ board that he didn't use, so he gave it to me for like $50, and he told me just to mess around on it. And he said to me, he's like, I'd be surprised if in 2 weeks you still want to do this. So for 2 weeks, I was awful. I was awful for probably like months. I mean, couldn't really mix a song together. I was down on myself, but I kept at it, and I took some lessons when I was in Boston when I was hurt. Went like twice a week or something like that, and just got a little bit better. And you know, it's a fun little side gig for me. It keeps me busy, and I love the music side of it too. It keeps me calm, and it's something that I like. So. You've
had the chance to DJ in a various amount of settings this summer. What's your favorite setting to DJ in? I mean, I see even from, being at like a club, or even doing like being the special guest DJ at a spin class. I saw that on your social media. what are some things? What are some things that you enjoy in terms of DJing at? What are your favorite settings?
I like to do a club. I mean, I spots that like the rap and the hip hop music, which I don't mind, but it's not really my first choice. I like to do the clubs that have the house music stuff. I played at the Show, which is on Clarence Street, and that was probably the best spot for me. Kind of just suited my style and stuff, so I had a fun time there. And I was with my friends too. They always used to come out and watch me, and it's kind of something fun. Just get the guys together and all that kind of stuff. So it was good.
Do you have a signature yet? Have you developed a signature? Are you like mixing in some of your favorite songs? Is there something that you're doing to put a stamp on things that, like Ryan Spooner is DJing?
I like to mix in some old punk songs. Last time I played the Show, I played Yellow Card, a remix by Yellow Card. I played a remix from Sum 41. I played the Lion King song with a drop on it, and then Boston, I used to play My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion, and that got the people fired up, which you think that it wouldn't, but you play that song and the place goes nuts, and kids just love it.
Man, you never told me that before. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, the part of being a DJ is like, you can play the songs that are hot. I mean, that's great, but for me, it's trying to find songs that kind of bring you back to your childhood and that you can sing to and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's important to mix that in. I mean, you can't do it a lot, but maybe like 3 or 4 times a night, every 30 minutes, you can play a song that is from a long time ago. I think it works out well. So
when Brandon first introduced you to DJing, though, did you kind of think about the fact that there were other NHLers that also DJed, like Savannah Jet, or was it kind of that didn't really cross your mind at all?
Not really, no. I mean, for me, it was just something that I thought was cool, and I went to a bar or I went to a concert, and it looked like it was a fun time, and it kind of seemed like it suited me. But the fact that I played the music for the team for 3 years, and I was always trying to find some new songs, and I think on my old laptop I had 4,000 songs or something like that, so it just seemed to suit me, so I gave it a try, and I'm here now, and I think the next step for me is it's probably not going to be this year, but maybe next year. I'm just going to try to make some of my own songs, but I still need to learn how to do that side of things. So.
No, absolutely. What I find really cool is the kind of the cross relationship between, you know, athletes and musicians and celebrities like actors and actresses online, because, you know, you're active on social media, you're tweeting out about your favorite music, but you also see sometimes, you know, some people that you interact with, they might be big on a certain show or anything, but they're also big hockey fans. They're big fans of you yourself. So there's an interaction there. What do you kind of think about that dynamic? We mentioned it last time when you were on with Shane Toll from Silverstein, but that's a kind of interesting dynamic, the kind of relationship between athletes and musicians on social media.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely cool. I mean, when I look at somebody like Shane, you know, when I was a kid, he was somebody that I would listen to a lot and that I would kind of look up to a bit. And then when I got to meet him and stuff like that, that was definitely cool for me. And turns out that he was a Leafs fan, if I remember correctly, and all that kind of stuff. So it's a small world. That's one thing that I've learned. And, you know, I think the one thing is that a lot of people like sports, a lot of people like music, and, you know, it's just something that we have in common. So
here's a question I usually ask when I have interviews like this. Who is Ryan Spooner on the ice and who is Ryan Spooner off the ice?
On the ice, I mean, you guys see me play and all that kind of stuff, and I just like to have fun. I just like to go out there and just enjoy the game. And you know, I find when I take it too serious or I get down on myself, it doesn't really work out well for me. And off the ice, I think for people that know me well, they'd say that I'm a little bit shy at times, and sometimes I like to keep to myself. But I mean, I try to be funny, and I like sports, and I love music. I love ping pong. I love dogs, and yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple for me.
Have you ever played Claude Giroux in ping pong?
I have not played him. I've played Jeff Skinner.
Because Giroux's been on the show, and he's talked about how he is a huge ping pong guy. So I was wondering if you ever challenged him.
I don't think that he would beat me. I mean, it's my opinion, but I played in Smash Fest 2 summers ago, and haven't heard his name out there, so I'm not sure he's that good. But I do know that Patrick Eves is probably the best in the NHL, and then you know, you got me, Skinner, Dominic Moore is pretty good at ping pong. Alex Burrows is very good too. There's a lot of guys that can play.
Did you play any spike ball over the summer?
Honestly, I bought a net to actually go to Europe with, but I didn't end up using it because my buddies didn't really want to play because they were being lazy. But I mean, it looks like such a hard game. It looks fun, but I feel like you'd have to like play it a lot to get really good at it. But it looks really fun. It's
a good time. Like Canada Day, that's all we did. It was hot as hell outside, but like that's all we did. We played spike ball. But a couple more questions as well. I mean, for a lot of people that know you and follow you off the ice as well, you're someone that really makes an effort to get involved with the community. Community involvement's a big thing with you, whether you're at home in Ottawa, whether you're playing in Boston or in New York. That's something that you're seeing a lot with hockey players. And just talk a little bit about that, because that's an important thing. And do you think we see it as much as we should in the NHL?
Yeah, I mean, in the summertime, I think I did 8 charity golf tournaments, and during the season we do stuff. We go visit kids in the hospital, and this past summer I did a ride along, went to an old age home and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's definitely something that is important to do. I mean, for us, you know, we're kind of blessed with time off in the summertime too, where we don't really have to work. So for us to take a day and just to go out and just kind of do stuff like that, or even a week or even 2 weeks throughout the summertime, you know, that's not a big deal to us. I think it's important, and it's honestly something that I actually enjoy doing. I mean, you just go out and you get to help out and all that kind of stuff. It's great. So, yeah.
For sure. Well, Ryan, we'll wrap up because I know it's a busy time for you right now. So thank you so much for taking the time to come back on the show, man. We've been wanting to do this for a while, and thanks so much for taking the time, man.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. So yeah, training camp starts. You mentioned a little bit. Last quick question. What can people expect from the New York Rangers this year? I mean, it's a team that's going to be young and fast as well.
Yeah, we have a new coach here, and I've talked to him, and he just said to me, he's like, we need to work hard, especially with a team that's young. We need to be in shape, and I think the most important thing for our team though is we need to make sure that we defend well. Don't see our team being the kind of team that's going to be able to score 4 or 5 goals a game. I think for us it's going to be winning the games like 3-2 and that kind of stuff. So I think a skating team, we got to defend well and just work hard. I think if we do that and we gel as a team, if you look at Vegas, they were kind of the same way. They kind of just gelled as a team. They were younger. They played to a system. And if you do that, your system, it kind of protects you. So I think if we can do that as a team and the guys buy in and we want to win, that's honestly the most important thing. Skill's great, but when you have guys that want to be here, we want to win, that's the most important thing. So
No, very cool. Very quickly, true or false, one of the highlights of your summer was being on the winning team for the first ever PBHL Summer Classic.
True. That was a fun game. It was a little long for me. I was actually gassed by the end of that, but it was definitely a fun game.
No, it was. There's rumors about a tournament next year, so we'll have to see.
I'm excited for that. I'll be there.
Perfect. Where can people follow you on social media? Because we know you're one of the most active guys on social in the NHL on social media.
Yeah, I mean, I try to be. I think my tag is rspooner51 on Instagram, and Twitter, honestly, don't really use Twitter that much anymore. I think Instagram's kind of taken that over, but I think my thing is rspooner2376 or rspooner2351. I have a couple of them actually because I forgot my password for one. So
awesome, man. Well, thank you so much, and all the best in New York this year, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Cool, man. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for video episodes, Spotify, iTunes for the audio. Until next time, this is Ryan Spooner and Peter Beats.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.